How far would you go to fix a dead person's reputation? Better yet, how far would you go to finally get the fame you deserve?
Meet Lance Clayton. He's a high school poetry teacher who wanted to be a famous novelist. But the only thing he's actually published is, well, nothing. His life is a slow-motion car crash. His girlfriend, Claire, is keeping him a secret. His best friend is more successful than him. And then there's his son, Kyle. If you thought your teenage years were awkward, wait until you meet his kid. He's not just a rebel. He's a sociopath with a porn obsession.
Stop it. Bruce Hornsby's a fag.
He's got kids, Kyle.
You have a kid. And you're a fag.
Why? Because I like Bruce Hornsby.
Yeah.
Well, put on some music you like, Kyle, okay?
No, I fucking hate music.
You hate music.
Yeah.
All music?
Yes.
But today, we're looking at a movie that asks a very dark question. Is it better to be a living nobody or a dead hero? This is the story for World's Greatest Dad. Lance is a nice guy, pushover. Kyle, played by Darrell Sabara, is genuinely loathsome. He's vulgar, hateful, and has zero friends except for one equally weird kid, Andrew. Lance tries to bond with Kyle, but Kyle treats him like garbage. Meanwhile, Claire, the younger art teacher, is dating Lance, but won't go public because she's embarrassed by him. Kyle goes to the same high school where Lance works. He bullies classmates. He objectifies. Good. He rejects any attempt at help. And worst of all, he's deeply isolated, but refuses to acknowledge it. Meanwhile, Lance's writing dreams continue to fail. Every manuscript comes back with another rejection. Claire keeps drifting farther away.
Good morning, Les.
Good morning, Principal Anderson.
What was that?
Oh, personal mail, but I use my own postage.
The cool crowd ignores him. Lance is stuck in a life that feels like failure professionally, socially, and even as a father. But he keeps pretending he's okay. This movie is about that lie. The lie of pretending your life is meaningful, even when you secretly fear it isn't.
I like Gene Wilder in Young
Frankenstein!
And soon, that lie becomes literal. One night, Lance comes home and he finds Kyle has died. Not from drugs, not from violence, but from a self-inflicted accident involving autoerotic asphyxiation. Lance is devastated. Not just by the loss, but by the meaninglessness of it. His son died in the most humiliating way possible. Lance can't bear the shame of how Kyle died. To save his son's dignity and his own, he stages the scene to look like a suicide and writes a fake, poetic suicide note. This is where the satire kicks in, and this, he thinks, will be Kyle's legacy. In shock, Lance makes a decision. He stages the scene so it looks like suicide. He writes a suicide note himself, carefully, sensitively, and poetic. The kind of meaningful message Lance has always wanted to write. He intends it only to spare Kyle from humiliation. But that lie will spin far beyond what he expects. The next day, the school, which hated Kyle, suddenly treats him like a fallen martyr. Everyone starts claiming they were his best friend. Suddenly, this kid, who had zero friends, becomes a tragic figure. Students cry. Teachers mourn. People rewrite their memories of him. And the suicide note? Everyone is stunned at how beautiful it is. But of course it wasn't Kyle. It was Lance.
If you've watched this far, it means you're enjoying the video. So, show some love by liking the video and subscribing to the channel.
He did like me, he really did.
He really did.
The school counselor even suggests publishing it in the paper. And Lance hesitates, but lets it happen. For the first time, his writing is being praised. Ironically, he finally receives recognition for something meaningful, but only because it's attached to tragedy and a lie. Students hold vigils. People quote the note like a sacred text. The school elevates Kyle into a misunderstood genius. Claire suddenly sees Lance differently. He's now the grieving father of a poetic soul, record labels, publishers, talk show hosts. Lance is invited onto talk shows. Claire finally wants to be with him publicly. He's a hero, but he's living a lie built on a corpse they all want in. So Lancy writes Kyle's secret journal. But really it's Lance's work. His voice, his thoughts, and the more people praise Kyle, the more Lance feels validated. The lie becomes addictive. He sells the book. Money follows. Status follows. He finally becomes important. But the irony? They love him only because they believe he didn't write it. His success belongs to a dead boy who never cared about him. And that truth begins to eat at him. The people closest to Lance start to sense something is wrong. Andrew.
What?
Kinda dumb.
Kyle was out.
Kyle's only real friend knows the journal is fake because Kyle hated reading and couldn't spell. The guilt starts to eat at Lance as he watches people commodify his son's death. He knows the world is grieving a fictional version of a kid who never existed. He also knows he's built a career on his son's corpse. Lance isn't evil. He's a weak human. He wanted love, recognition, meaning, and the world finally gave it to him, but at the cost of truth. Eventually, he can't take it anymore. During a big school assembly celebrating Kyle's legacy, Lance snaps on. He tells the truth. Lance gets on stage and says,
You guys didn't like Kyle. But that's okay. I didn't either. I loved him.
My son didn't kill himself. He died playing with himself. And he wasn't a poet. He was a jerk. Lance admits he faked everything. Silence fills the room. And when it's over, everyone leaves. Not to comfort him. Not to thank him. They just move on. Because once the lie fades, nobody really cares. In the final scenes, Lance does something symbolic. He strips down and jumps into a swimming pool, floating alone, free. No masks, no delusions, no applause, just a flawed man finally being honest with himself. The crowd is horrified. Lance loses everything. The fame, the girl, the reputation. But for the first time, he's happy and realizes that being lonely is better than being with people who make you feel alone. World's Greatest Dad is not really about fatherhood. It's about the crushing need to be seen and the lies people tell, too. Avoid accepting insignificance. It's funny, sad, and disturbing. And thanks to Robin Williams, it feels painfully real.
If you've watched this far, it means you're enjoying the video. So, show some love by liking the video and subscribing to the channel.
I knew you wrote the book. I liked it.
Really?
You're a good writer. I think you should keep writing.
Thanks, Andrew. I will.